everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am back with another pregnancy update video. Yeah, I said that completely backwards. I'm back with another pregnancy update video for you. It's been a couple of weeks since my last update and I feel like a lot has happened in the last couple of weeks. So here I am, I'm giving you an update. I've actually just come from my 20-week ultrasound. I had it this morning at 8:30. This is my breakfast. It's now like 10:30 and I didn't eat before it because it was so early. This is the first thing I've had. So yeah, let's just get into the video. Okay, so I've got some notes here on my phone. So if you see me looking down, I'm just looking off my notes. So I'm pretty much gonna go from basically week 20 to where I'm at now, which is week 22. So just that 2-week period, because seriously, guys, a lot has happened in those 2 weeks. Like I think I said in my last video that I didn't really have many symptoms. Like after the 13 weeks, I feel like there was such a long period from 13 weeks to 20 weeks where like nothing was really changing. My body wasn't really changing that much. But now there's a lot of changes. So I'm excited to share those with you. Alrighty, so 20 weeks. I felt the baby kick for the first time and that's pretty much the biggest update I think that I have in this video. But yay, the baby's kicking now. It's so exciting. So I don't know if I mentioned this in the last video, but at about 18 weeks or 17 weeks, I kind of felt a few little flutters or butterfly feelings, like really low down in my stomach. And I wasn't sure if they were genuine kicks or like baby movements. And I'd asked a couple of people and they were like, oh, you know, like when he kicks, like you'll know. So like I felt that a couple of times around 17 weeks and then I didn't really feel much for the next couple of weeks after that. And then it was a Saturday night. I was just over 20 weeks and I was like lying in bed, just watching TV, and I felt like this thud. Like that's all I can describe it as. It was like a thud. And I was like, oh, like, yep, that's definitely a kick. So that was really exciting. And then ever since that sort of night and that initial like kick, I have felt a lot of movement, like pretty much every day. So it's mostly like at night, like I said, and I feel like this is when generally everyone feels the movement, when you're lying down in bed after you've been at work all day. Because I am on my feet all day as well, like I'm just moving a lot. Then I come home, I lie down and I like relax, and then he starts like moving and yeah. So yeah, it's mainly at night, but also there's a few times where I've like gone out for lunch to like a cafe with friends and I've been like eating lunch and I felt some movement. So that's really cool. So yeah, that's pretty much my biggest and most exciting update. And yeah, moving on to pretty much, yeah, the start of like the middle of the 20th week, I had this symptom which I haven't experienced yet in pregnancy until a couple of weeks ago. And I have heard of a lot of people experience it, which is shooting pain in your boobs. So yeah, I was just, I don't know, I just randomly was like, oh, and I felt like this spark and like this shooting pain in my boob. Only a couple of times, and honestly since then it hasn't really happened much. But yeah, it was just something to note down. Then also I've started to experience, I guess you can call it a bit of round ligament pain. So a few times when I've like sneezed, I felt like this, like this kind of pain in my stomach. So yeah, that was interesting. I was like, oh, like it literally, it's like a sharp pain sort of in your stomach. So yeah, that was a first for me as well. Then what else have I got here? So I feel like 13 weeks to 20 weeks, like I said, is like just like such a like breezy time. You feel really good. Well, for me anyway, I felt really good. I had lots of energy and I didn't really feel pregnant, I wasn't really showing that much. And then now, like, I'm like 22 weeks, and the last week I have really been feeling the aches and pains of pregnancy. So at work, I work in retail, so I'm on my feet a lot. And if I'm moving around and like kind of, my job is fairly physical, obviously, because I'm pregnant. My doctor has given me like a lifting limit of 5 kilos, so I'm not really lifting as much. But even just like repetitive movements of like lifting small things, it really takes a toll on my body after like a few hours. And I like sometimes need to sit down for a while because I'm just like, my back is so sore. Also, there was a few nights where like after work, I'd have like a long day of work, and then I'd come home and I'd lie down and watch TV with Ryan, and I'd be lying on my back and I just have real like pain in my hips and in my lower back. So I kind of had to like lie on the side or like watch the TV from the side just to relieve some of that pressure. Also, another thing I've noticed, my hands are so dry. I don't know why. I don't know if this is actually a genuine pregnancy symptom. Sorry, he's about to go crazy because I think you can hear someone out the front. But my hands, as much as I moisturize them, they're still like flaky dry. And as well as my lips as well. Like I use Paw a lot, but my lips are still really dry. I also experienced bleeding gums, which I actually read last week on my Ovia pregnancy app that could be a symptom this week. It was only a couple of nights that my gums started bleeding a bit when I was brushing my teeth. But yeah, I guess it's just something to note. And so this is a bit of a not interesting. So the other morning, this was literally like 3 days ago, I've been having really bad leg cramps and like kind of sore, tight legs. And I do have a genetic history of varicose veins. My mum had varicose veins during her pregnancies, and so did her mum, my Uma. So I feel like it's just inevitable for me to get varicose veins, and I can already see one coming up on my left leg, like kind of, it looks like it's like coming through. So yeah, I mean, there's nothing I can do about it. I'm trying to elevate my legs as much as possible, and I'm trying not to sit and stand for too long. But yeah, it's just, I feel like I just have to accept it. If it comes, it comes. Alrighty, moving to the 20-week ultrasound, which I had today. Like I said, I'm actually, according to my last due date they gave me at my 13-week scan, I'm actually 22 weeks today. So guys, that was a long ultrasound. Had anyone else had their 20-week scan and it taken like an hour or over an hour? Because I felt like I was in there for so long. So I went in there, I got in at 8:30, and I honestly, like I said, I just got home before at like 10 o'clock, and I think I was in there for like an hour and 15 minutes. So she did the abdominal ultrasound. She was like looking at everything, and it's cool because you can actually really see, like, I could really see his hands and his feet like really clearly this time, so that was really cool. Then she was like, oh, he's really low. And funny, because this morning, like, I was trying to empty my bladder an hour before the ultrasound, and I like emptied my bladder a couple of times, and I was like, okay, it still feels like I've got this full bladder that's busting, like it's bursting, like I'm about to wee myself. And I'd go to the toilet again, and literally nothing would come out. And I'm like, okay. And then I get up and I walk around, I'm like, I still have that like sensation of really needing to pee there. So yeah, and then I went to the ultrasound, and she was like, he's sitting really low, like he's close to the cervix. And I was like, well, that makes sense, because like that's why I felt so much pressure there. And like there's definitely days where my bladder really feels like he's pushing on it. So yeah, because he was so low, she couldn't get a good image of his head and kind of like his face. So she was kind of like to me, after she'd done all the other measurements, she was like to me, can you just like go for a 10-minute walk and like try and get him moving and like have a drink of water and then come back. Before this, I'd like emptied my bladder and like we tried a few different things and he just wasn't moving. So I went out to my car, I walked, there was like a little like basketball court thing and there's stairs there. I was doing the stairs up and down. I was like stepping up, stepping down, like just walking around, kind of like jumping around a bit, trying to get him to move. Went back 10 minutes later and still really wasn't moving. He's such a stubborn little boy. If you watch my last update video, he was doing headstands at my 13-week scan and he was like face down and she was trying to get him to move as well, and I had to like jump on the spot and everything. So yeah, I love that his personality is already showing through and just through the ultrasounds. So yeah, came back, nothing had really changed. She was like trying again with the abdominal ultrasound, and then she was like, oh, we might have to do an internal ultrasound. And I was like, yeah, that's fine. Like, I had to do one last time. I've done one of the NIPT test. I've done one with my obstetrician before I got pregnant. Like, I've done 1,000 of them. So I wasn't bothered. And so I did that. And she ended up getting a good profile of the head. And yeah, that was all good. She did give me some photos. I actually will go and grab those. So these are the photos I got given. The top one, you can't really see anything in that image, but I mean the other two and the bottom ones, you can kind of see his profile a little bit more. But yeah, she said he is very active. And he was really active last time as well, so that probably explains that. I got some really good information this time and I made sure to jot it down because like I feel like last time they run through everything so quickly when you're in the ultrasound, like, you know, the heartbeat and everything, that it's sometimes hard to remember everything. So she did the heartbeat. The heartbeat this time was 147 beats per minute. And she said he currently weighs 525 grams, which is pretty cool. It's like over half a kilo. Then she looks at the placenta. So this was something I was kind of interested about because I'm in a baby group on Facebook and a lot of the women in there talking about like anterior, posterior placentas and how that affects, you know, some women when they give birth, and it also can affect when you feel movements. So she said my placenta is at the back, so it's posterior, which from my understanding it's pretty normal. And when I googled it, they were like, oh, women with posterior placentas can sometimes feel movements a bit earlier than others because it is at the back rather than with women at the front. It's kind of blocking the stomach, so it might be hard for you to feel that movement. So yeah, something to note. And then so when she was taking the measurements, she's measuring the legs and the feet and just the spine and everything, and as she's taking those measurements on the screen, I can see like a due date coming up, like from those measurements. So it's got my actual due date and then that one, and it's like some was showing me like the 16th or the 17th, and I was like, okay, yep. And then after everything, the ultrasound over, she's like, so yeah, looks like baby's on the bigger side. And I was like, oh yeah. Like as soon as I knew it was a boy, I kind of knew I was in for a big baby. Like I've just always had a feeling he's gonna be 9 pounds something. So yeah, it was really no surprise for me. And I think I've mentioned in my other videos that every ultrasound I've been to, he's always measured ahead. So last time at the 13-week one, she measured him 3 days ahead. And then today at the 20-week scan, he's measuring another 4 days ahead, which gives me a new due date of the 19th of July, so now I've had 5 different due dates, mind you. The first one, which she was going by, which is first day of my last period, which is the 29th. So that's like quite a big difference. 10 days from that to what he's measuring at is, I feel like it's quite a big difference. I don't know, if you've had a similar experience to me with getting different due dates and like having a big baby, please let me know in the comments, because I'm really interested to see if anyone else is having this experience. So yeah, and I was kind of like, oh, like which one do I go by? Because every time they ask me my due date, I was going by the 23rd, which was the due date they gave me last time. And she was like, oh, we normally go by your day of your last period. But like when you see the midwife, she will explain to you like which due date to go by. So yeah, everything looks good. Everything looks healthy. That is the main thing. And yeah, that's basically my update. I'm seeing the midwife on Monday, so today's Friday, and then I'm sure in the next update I'll have a lot more to update you on, because I do have a lot of questions for the midwife. It's basically my first midwife appointment, so yeah, I'm excited. It feels real now. Like I really feel pregnant. I'm starting to look pregnant, and it's all kind of more of a reality now that I'm going to be having a baby in a few months, which is still kind of crazy, but it's now, yeah, it's happening. I'll show you a little bump pic, but again, I did a bump pic last time and I feel like you couldn't see anything, but I will actually insert a photo up on the screen of what I posted on my Instagram the other day. This was, I think I was 18-ish, 18 and a half weeks. And then the second photo on the right is 21 and a half weeks. So it's about 3 weeks difference. And you can see quite a substantial difference. Like my belly has really rounded out more. So yeah, I'm definitely growing. Alrighty guys, I am going to wrap up this video here. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up because it really supports my channel. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss an upload. I am really proud of myself. I have been uploading every week, every Sunday for I think 9 weeks now. So yeah, please do subscribe if you do enjoy my content, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.